Joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way. And I'm brighter day, so I march on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cheer Live. It is Friday night, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time, and you are exactly where you're supposed to be. And today, again, this is part two of what we started last week. So this is going to be different. I want you to tune in. I want you to be a part of the conversation. Please ask questions, comment. We are going to respond to everything. Those of you that have been watching the show, you know that we start things off with our sponsors. So here we go.
Hey, sis. My name is Yasmin Brown, and I am the founder of Beauties on Successful Strides. We are your sisterhood community that cares, and we are advocates for your goals being achieved. I'm talking about those goals that you have put on the shelf, those stretch goals that you really, really want to accomplish, but a part of you feel like it might be impossible. We have been helping women to make the impossible happen, and we want to journey with you. We want to be part of your tribe to help you with making the impossible happen. And we do that by helping you to shift from the no zone. The no zone is that zone where it's like, you know what, I really want to do it, but I don't know if I can. I don't know if I should. I don't know if I have enough resources to do so or the support to do so. The no zone is also the fear zone. We help you to shift from the no zone to the no matter what zone. The no matter what zone is having that head crusher, no matter what, get it done, bold, confident mindset. And then we help you to be equipped with spiritual success strategies to success. That is basically helping you with developing systems that works while being part of a community that will support you, love on you, cheer for you, celebrate you, be resource providers for you, and so much more. The time is now, sis. If you are serious about your goals being achieved, if you are serious about making the impossible happen and reaching that next level, then join us. Become part of our sisterhood. Become part of a community that truly, genuinely cares. And I'm just excited to welcome you to Boss soon. Let's go. Let's take them goals off the shelf. Let's make them happen. Let's make the impossible happen for you. See you soon. Bye.
And if you want to join the sisterhood, you would go to this website right here that I have posted, beautystrides.com. I am a part of this organization. They are part of why I have this show at all. That is just the truth. And they are in the middle of rebranding, so this is the best time to get involved. And they will help you, pursue your goals, your dreams, and give you all the support that you need. I mean that sincerely. And of course, we got to talk about Posh Women's Apparel. And you have seen many outfits that I've worn on the show that are from Posh Women's Apparel. And if you want to also look fly like me, you can go to poshwomensapparel.com. Again, it's poshwomensapparel.com. You can use the code Asia and you will get 10% off. You're welcome. And then in addition to that, I want you to go to my website. So if you go to my website, asiajamal.com, let me get this up, asiajamal.com, and you see on the top, you see a Bella Eyewear. If you go there, you will get 30% off of your purchase, and that will really help out this channel, this website, this show. So if you believe in what it is that we're doing and supporting people and connecting you with great resources, that's a good way to support the channel. Also, we have a new one, Cuts by Nate. So this is specifically to Merrillville, Indiana. Um, they know what they're doing. My son won't even go to anybody else. That's the son I'm talking about right there. There's Christian. There's Titus. They refuse to go to anybody else but me. So if you guys are interested in cutting you in that neighborhood, that's where you need to go. All right, we are done with our sponsors and we are going to get into the show. We have with us again Ashton McKinney. Welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
And I am going to love this woman. I have already adopted her. She is a part of my family, whether she likes it or not. And all of you guys that are listening and watching, please feel free to ask questions and leave comments, get involved in the conversation. We want to hear from you. So we're going to remind you of what we're talking about. And so I'm going to play this video for you. Here we go.
Tonight, this man, Brian Medeiros, is facing charges after the Polk County Sheriff says he used too much force when he allegedly shot and killed a teenager outside an apartment complex. This happened in Davenport. That's in eastern Polk County near the landings at Four Corners apartment complex. And you can see that's off of Highway 27 near Highway 192. Investigators tell us the man killed Divine Pritchett, who was on drugs when he left a hotel and went to that complex. At the complex, the sheriff says Pritchett, he was making some gun noises but was unarmed. Medeiros then came outside to see what those noises were, but Pritchett began walking toward him. Well, the sheriff says Medeiros then shot him twice.
We will work with the state attorney's office to complete this investigation, but the evidence is obvious to me at this early stage of the investigation that there was too much force used, and that instead of standing your ground, he was actually seeking the guy out.
And so my mother calls the state attorney, and this is the exact words that this man said to her. He said, we cannot, because my mom's question was, why are y'all not going at second degree when all evidence points to malice, to harmful intent? Clearly shows signs. And the state attorney said to her, and I kid you not, going for second degree would be hard. If we went for second degree, he could possibly walk. It'll be even easier for him to get the stand your ground law to work on his favor if they went second degree.
I thought that I would have some sort of closure. I don't even know if that's the word, because I don't even think I'll have closure, but I didn't want to think about it the way I've been thinking about it. So when he rescheduled or continued it again, it's like, where does that leave me? I don't know.
Okay. I'm extra emotional today. So again, welcome, Ashton. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey. Again, those that are watching and listening, please feel free to leave comments and questions. I am paying attention to what's going on. I see that you are emotional as well. This is part 2 of this series. This is the last part of this series, but this is definitely not the last part of the journey. So I know that you have updates. I know that you had a court date since the last time that you were on. I would like to play the full story. Would you like to give the updates first, or would you like me to give the full story first, and then we can go from there?
We can do the story first.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, please pay close attention to this full story, okay? He is going to explain to you what happened in the beginning, and this is based off of the information that they had at the time, and then Ashton is going to update us from there. Here we go.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to brief you about a shooting that occurred this morning at the landing at Four Corners, which is on Highway 192, just off of Highway 27 in the edge of Polk County. And here's what occurred. I'm going to give you a summation of the information that we have up to this point. And of course, all of this is subject to change as the investigation goes on. But we have our victim, Divine Pritchett. He's a black male. He's 19 years of age. He was staying down the road with some friends in the Best Western, and there were about 5 or 6 of them all together. We learned at about 4 a.m. this morning from his friends that he dropped some acid, and that's their terminology. They used acid, and he just freaked out and left. He was wearing a pair of shorts, no shirt, and only had socks on. So he ends up in this apartment complex. And he's in the breezeway of an apartment complex when just prior to 6 a.m. this morning, there's a man walking his dog. As he walks past, he hears a guy going, pow, pow, pow. And he looks, and there's this 19-year-old who is about 5'5" and 125 pounds, according to the information on his driver's license, as if he's got a gun and he's making this noise, pow, 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 but he doesn't have a gun. So he speeds up. He walks faster. The guy comes out of the stairwell and grabs him on the shoulder. He turns around and shoves him down. And then he runs and goes up to his third apartment floor. He has a roommate up there, and he tells him, hey, this guy just attacked me down here. And his roommate and he come out, and they start looking for him. And our witness one, as we're calling him, who has the dog, is dialing 911 to say there's a guy out here that's acting really crazy, really bizarre. And as they're looking for him, there is another couple that came out of their apartment on the second floor, and as they said, they went down to smoke. And they learned of this event that took place. So at that time, who is now our suspects, Brian Medeiros, Medeiros, a white male who's 25, goes down to his car and gets his handgun, a Taurus, and he puts it in his waistband and covers it with his shirt. They finish smoking. He goes back up to the second floor, which is where their apartment is, and he tells his girlfriend or fiance to go inside. He hears noise on the third floor. And he goes up to the third floor, and as he's on the landing, there's a landing on each side of the apartment complex, he sees the guy laying, our victim, Divine, laying flat on his back on the other landing. And someone's trying to talk to him. And it turns out that it is not the person with the dog, but his roommate. So the guy gets up and he goes on up to the third floor, our victim, Divine. Our shooter goes up, sees him there. The victim turns around and starts down the other stairwell. Well, our shooter comes down his stairwell and then we see where our victim, Divine, is walking directly toward our shooter. And even though he told his girlfriend to go inside, she's standing at the door, but now they see he's got his pants down. So if you can imagine this, our victim has his pants down to mid-thighs. It's clearly indicated he doesn't have a firearm. And he's walking directly toward our shooter, Brian Medeiros. Brian Medeiros then does something that's interesting. He pulls his gun and he shoots him. And when he shoots him, he says it has no effect, and the guy's really close to him. So he said, I'll walk around him, and I start past him, and he turns around to follow me, and I turn around and shoot him some more. And he's caught up with me, and then I walk past him again, and as I'm going down the staircase to the first floor, he follows me and he tumbles down behind me, and that's where he dies.
So first of all, I want to reiterate a few points. One, the officer that spoke let everybody know that he was unarmed, and it was clear that he was unarmed because he was half dressed. There was nothing that he had on that could have shown any hidden weapon. When he said he walked towards him, he said he walked towards him or moved towards him, not a threatening manner. He did not attempt to fight. I'm re-emphasizing those things so that you guys understand how unnecessary this was. One other point I want to point out is that this individual was able to step away from the situation, go to his vehicle, open his trunk, get his gun, come back, and then pull the trigger. Which is why they are saying it does not align with the standard ground law. Keep that in your minds right now as we proceed with this. Last time that we spoke, Ashton, there was a court date that was upcoming, and this court date has passed, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And again, I'm going to remind my viewers, please feel free to ask questions or post comments. Ashton, go ahead and give our viewers an update. What happened?
Okay, so court was July 7th at 1 p.m. So I went through so much to get to this place. This place is 2.5 hours from where I currently live, and our car was not in the best position to get there. So it took a lot of like begging and pleading and to get our car fixed, and we got there. We got there safe through Elsa. We were dealing with the hurricane, so it was bad, but we made it. We made it safe. We got there. I got there at 12:30. I wanted to go there early because my anxiety was crazy. This is the first in-person court, so the other 3 was through Zoom, and I never through Zoom never seen his face, the guy that killed my son. So I figured since this was in person, he would be there. This would be my first time, and I didn't know how I was going to feel about everything. So it was hitting me. So I got there pretty early. My husband came with me, thank God. And I also had a friend that I met who lost her son also. So she knows exactly what I'm going through. And she flew in from Georgia, and she was by my side. So I thank her for that. We were the third to be called, or the killer's name was third to be called. And it happened really fast. It happened so fast. My husband nor my girlfriend knew that their name was called. We did not see the killer there.
And I was like, well, maybe he's there, but he'll come when they call, call the name or whatever. So when they called the name, the lawyer just stepped up and the state attorney stepped up. And the lawyer asked again for it to be postponed because this whole thing with this deposition. Now, why does it take 10 months for someone to go and sit down and give a statement? I don't know. But apparently he needs more time for this deposition. And so they look over at the state attorney, and the state attorney says he does not object because he has discoveries himself that he needs to get to in August. He has appointments in August. So he did not object, and that was it. And that took literally was like 106 by the time that was over. So we were walking out, and as we were walking out, the state attorney see me, and he came out outside of the courtroom to talk to us. And he basically said he's not making any demands because they're going to go with the stand your ground law. They decided to go with the stand your ground law. So he himself is not making any demands because he wants to see, I guess, how far that's going to go. And then he basically just asked me to give pictures of my son and letters from friends and family to just paint a better picture for my son's case. And I was kind of confused because this is the fourth pretrial we're talking about, and this was 10 months in. So I was confused because I'm like, well, this earlier on, you're just now getting to asking me this. Is it because we're finally seeing each other face to face? And then it's crazy because, like I said, I came with another girl. So he's looking at both of us asking which one is the mother, basically. And it's just, it was just crazy. And so the killer didn't come. His lawyer must have communicated with him and told him that it was going to get postponed and that he did not have to come. So I was livid. I was so upset because they have no idea what I had to go through to get to this court. They had no idea that it takes 2.5 hours to get there up and back. They had no idea my husband had to call out of work. They just don't know these things, nor did they have the common courtesy to give me a phone call and tell me that it was going to get postponed and that I didn't have to come. But they gave him the common courtesy. So I feel like they're treating me like the criminal and they're treating him like the victim. So that's where we're at, is another postponement. We're 10 months in. The next court date, they told me they can't do one until November. My son's death will be September 6th, will be a year. And they can't hold a pre-trial date until November.
Goodness. I hope you guys were listening when she said pre-trial.
Pre-trial.
This has not yet begun to be tried. This is the pre-trial that they keep rescheduling. So I want to get into what it is that she's dealing with, and she asked him to meet the rest of her family. First of all, when I researched this, and I did this because I wanted to understand more of what she may be dealing with, because I will not stand and pretend like I know or that I could even begin to try to understand this pain that you're dealing with. So I did some research, and first of all, this is a term that I think people don't pay attention to, and that is the co-victim. So according to the CBI Research Synthesis Homicide Co-Victims Report, homicide co-victims are people who have lost a loved one to homicide. I think people tend to forget that the effects of the situation doesn't end with the one that was murdered. It continues on with their family members. It continues on with all that have loved that individual. So these rescheduling of just the pre-trial, you see her pain, you see what she's going through, because it hasn't even begun. They're taking her through this over and over and over again. It just makes my heart hurt for you. Lord have mercy. I'm just so angry right now. According to Alliance for Safety and Justice.org, for the traumatic impacts of being a victim of violence and crime extend to individuals' personal, familial, and professional lives, and left unaddressed, can have severe and long-term impacts on the well-being and stability of victims. So, in dealing with that, I want to know what has been the impact so far on you since this has begun. Um, what have you been going through since this happened?
Well, in the grief alone, I've been dealing with just guilt. I've been dealing with being alone because I have no one that can understand exactly what I'm going through. People will tend to think that I can just snap back and go on. Um, you cannot concentrate. It's one thing to like grieve, but then it's another thing when they keep putting things on hold, as if, I mean, I know it feels as if they're doing him a favor, but they're not thinking about us. And I currently do not work. And I told you the story why earlier on, but getting another job is kind of like, I don't even know the steps to do that part, because it's like, if my job that I was at for almost 5 years didn't understand what I was going through, what makes you think a new job is going to understand when I got to call out for court, when my mind is just blank and I'm just, I'm out there? Because there's times where I'm just completely out there. I'm no good. I'm not a good mother. I'm not a good wife. I have my times where I'm happy, but then there's times where I just completely check out. The lack of help that I receive is crazy. Because I know the type of person that I was. So people who called themselves my family, they disappeared. People think that everything is back to normal once the funeral is over, and it's nowhere near that. If anything, it gets worse, because that was the first time I seen his body. So things started getting crazy from that point on. I don't get phone calls. Nobody checks in. You feel completely alone. You feel alone. You're reaching out to anybody, everybody, and you're getting rejected, or you're getting led on, and then no one calls you back. I actually had a organization that was supposed to meet me at the court, or at least have activists and different supporters that would meet me at the court. No one came. So it was crazy to just, I'm on a roller coaster at all times. If I'm not excited about someone saying they're going to help, and then I don't hear anything again, then I get down to a low. This court set me back. I was doing so well, and then this happened again, and it won't allow me any type of closure. It's not a really closure, he's gone, but at least a start to know what direction they're going in. And for him to tell me that they're not making any demands right now, he's not even coming with anything right now because he wants to see what they're going to do. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a break, let you regroup, and we're going to dig deeper. And we are going to give you guys the opportunity to, again, leave comments, leave questions. I will be paying attention to the comment section. Right now, we're going to take a small reset. Here we go. And those of you that are watching via YouTube, this is what I want you to do. Please and thank you. And those of you that are watching via Facebook or Twitter, please follow. And I will continue to follow the story even after this episode. Right now we are going to play a song that is relevant. The song is called Stand Up by Elijah Jamal. And this is exactly what we need people to do right now. For people like Aspen, people like Trayvon Martin's family, and I mean the list goes on and on and on. I don't even have enough time to talk about all the people that have been affected. I just, I'm grateful for Aspen trusting me with this story. So here we go. I'm going to go ahead and play this video, and then we will continue on.
Stand
Soon be forgotten. Today, we'll all come together to take a stand. Stand up for those prisoners. We have to stand up for our community. It's time to stand up. Take a stand. We have to stand up for our community.
We've been torn down way too long. We can't take this anymore. Fight back, we must as one. Rise up, we must stand up. We gotta stand up. Stand up for something. 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 Or we'll fall for anything. Too many lives we have lost. All lives should matter to everyone. Fight back, we must as one. Rise up, we must stand up. We gotta stand up. Stand up for something. 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 Or we'll fall for anything. Stand up today for tomorrow. Stand up for change to follow. Stand up today for tomorrow. Stand up for hope to follow. We gotta stand up. Stand up for something. 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 Or fall for anything.
All right. All right, let me get myself together. We had some comments during this break. And Felix, thank you, Felix. He supported you for the first episode as well. So whatever updates you give me, I will continue to post. And he said he'll keep sharing, and we're gonna try to get you all the assistance that we possibly can. And please, guys, continue to comment and ask questions. I want to read a little more the research that I have, so you guys just understand some things a little better. So, and this is from the same site, by the way. Most victims do not receive help to recover from crime. 2 out of 3 victims surveyed received no help following the incident. For those that receive help, it is not through the criminal justice system of the victim that do report receiving help. The majority received it from family and friends or the hospital, not the criminal justice system. 40% received recovery help from family and friends. 35% received recovery help from hospitals. 2 out of 3 victims surveyed received no help following the incident. Only 1 in 10 victims received assistance from a district attorney or a prosecutor's office, and 1 in 4 received help from a law enforcement agency. Um, so, in regards to Ashton saying that she has not been receiving information and they are not informing her, unfortunately, this is way too common. Um, I have not experienced what you've experienced, Ashton, but unfortunately, I'm a little familiar with the system, and regardless of what it is that you're going through, this is exactly right. And I think that people forget, about the fact that you are a victim as well. This has permanently impacted your life. But I'm praying and hoping that this becomes a part of your testimony, and that this is not something that will take you out or take you down. Or what I found on another site is a NCABP or Impact Manual. This is from 2010, but still stands true today. Families of murder victims report. And then after I read this, Aspen, I want you to tell me how much of this is true for you. It says recurrent nightmares about the actual murder, whether they know what happened or not, rage towards the person responsible, anger towards the victim or being in the wrong place at the wrong time, depression and helplessness, powerlessness, hatred towards God, and loneliness and isolation. Which of these things resonate with you?
All the above. All the
I was
above.
expecting that.
All the above. I was not there, obviously, with the death of my son, but I did find the strength to go to the locations of where he ran from to where he ended up and had his last breath. So, and I know my son's personality, so it's like I can visualize the whole thing, and I wasn't even there, but I can visualize it. As far as hate for the victim or anger towards the victim, yeah, but I mean, obviously that's that's the person that he is. I just wish they knew the person my son was, because had the tables been turned, my son, if anything, he would have world starred him, laughed at him because he was high. He definitely wouldn't have killed him. And people need to know that. But I forgive him. It took a lot. I literally have to do my own healing. I had to go within myself. I literally had to get mad at God. Basically, I had to lose my mind to gain my sense. Like, I literally had to do that.
Wow.
Because there's no help. There's no help. And it's like, I already tried to off myself. God is not ready for me to leave. So killing myself is no longer an option. So I'm forced to stay here and deal with this. So I have to try to learn how to maneuver through this on my own. And I've been going within myself to find myself and being more spiritual now than I've ever been. But I was forced to do that. I'm now being forced to go back to work. I have no choice. I kind of ran out all my assets. So we're kind of forced to go back to work, and no one understands the mental that I have to deal with, but I have to put on that smiley face, and life goes on. Unfortunately, life goes on. As hard as it is for me to get out of the bed, life goes on. So.
Yeah, and just in case you guys missed this information, Ashton is still a mother. She still has a son. She still is a wife. She still has a life, and this is still affecting her. Um, I'm sorry. I'm
Yes.
trying so hard not to be emotional because it just breaks my heart. I have my own baby, and I couldn't even imagine, alone just getting the phone call, just being told that my child is no longer here, and then being told that, well, we think this is easier, charging them with manslaughter, knowing that somebody just flat out murdered your baby. And things getting postponed over and over again. My heart bleeds for you. I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. Um, when you reached out to me, and we started preparing for you to be on the show, you had mentioned some things that you needed assistance with, and you told me the people that you reached out to and that weren't helpful. Um, can you let my audience know if anything was helpful? Was there anything positive that happened since then?
And that's the thing too. That's why it's so hard for me to do like a YouTube video, because these are it's nothing has happened. So the work that I did, I came across 3 organizations. I was blessed enough to have a very talented actress, who's very well known, to reach back out to me, who actually took consideration to my story and wanted to help, and she connected me with an organization. Um, that the organizations reach out to me, they hear my story, they say they're going to help, and then I never hear from them again. I met you around April 30th. I emailed you from finding one of your, sites, and you immediately reached back out, and I started telling you what I needed, which basically I just needed at the time. I needed mental health help, a support group, because I could not find a support group anywhere, and I knew in my budget I could not afford therapist, so I would have settled for a support group. And I also do not know what direction to take in fighting for justice. I am by myself in Florida. It's just me, my son now, my husband. So it's only but so much we can do. So I needed support. And I was begging for that. I was begging for the share button, because if you didn't know, or if my family didn't know, if anybody didn't know, just share, because you don't know who knows someone and who may hear this story and may take it and help me. And so from there, you started doing your research and you found organizations, also the ones that I was looking for, support groups. Those organizations, they heard me out. They heard my story. They said they would help. And nothing. And my main thing was, they all said they were going to help. We had 3 months, because most of the people I talked to between April and May, and they were like, "Oh, we got plenty of time. We'll get the team together. We'll get supporters together, and we'll definitely get back to you before court." Like I said, court was July 7th, and nothing, and no one. So you definitely did your part, but there's only so much you can do, because once you tie me to these organizations, it's like you're not done. I don't want to say that, but you did what you did, but it's them that they're not taking action. And these are the same organizations. Like I said, I wouldn't say their name, but they're well-known organizations. I've talked to 5 different ones. So they've heard my story. They know Ashton McKinney. They know Divine Pritchett. I'm pretty sure they know our names. They just, I don't know. They're not reaching back out. So I don't know what else to do.
Mm-hmm. So we have a comment that says, rehearse the successes that you experience and try not to view this time through your prism of pain. There's a larger story being framed on this campus of struggle. And I think this is really just speaking towards what I was saying in regards to, hopefully this is turning into your testimony, as opposed to just being constant tragedy for you. So I'm I'm grateful that Aston is gracious enough not to call people out and not to call out organizations. Um, I'm going to mention a little something though. I'm going to mention a little something. So I did, yeah, anybody that knows me, they know if I'm committed, I'm committed. And I reached out to Black Lives Matter uh, to find out what chapters are in her area. I found somebody and she responded, and I'm so grateful that she did. Um, but I'm not going to put words in your mouth. You tell me, Ashton. You said she showed up with at the courthouse, correct?
She
She did.
definitely did.
Yeah.
She definitely did. She's a godsend. She felt so bad about my story, and she literally she's in like towards Miami, so her drive was also about 2 hours, 2.5 hours to get to this court. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. But when we got there, she was upstairs as I was downstairs in the lobby because again, literally court was like 6 minutes. So she may have been a couple minutes late, and when she got there, she thought she was in the wrong courtroom because that's how fast everything was moving. So I was like, nope, I'm in the lobby. So we went downstairs and we talked, and the girlfriend that came with me who lost her son also knows all about Black Lives Matter. They actually did not take her story. They actually told her she may have to make her own organization because I don't want to tell too much of her story, but her son was murdered by the same race, Black. So I guess Black Lives Matter only caters to white on Black, I guess, which is sad. So when the lady was downstairs, my friend wanted to ask, what she does for Black Lives Matter. And I'm so glad she did because I assumed she was from Black Lives Matter. She's not from Black Lives Matter. She's from Black Lives Matter Allies. Big difference. So she can only do but so much, but she just was so supportive, and she's going to try her best to share my story on her platform. And she was awesome. And I'm appreciative of any little type of help. It doesn't matter. I'm very appreciative. So it was a bummer that she was not a part of Black Lives Matter, but she was somebody. She's another organization. And like I said, I'll take any type of help I can get. I am not picky at all.
Just so you know, so people don't think I'm, gazing off on stuff and not paying attention to Ashton. People are messaging me about this while the show is going on, and I'm just like, Ashton, people are telling me that they're praying for you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, first of all, I cannot take away what Black Lives Matter has done in regards to putting more attention on what's been going on and causing people to have some outrage and to demand justice, demand change. What I challenge Black Lives Matter to do is to make it easier for people to find the chapters in their areas to get the assistance they need. I know you guys are overwhelmed. You guys have people from all over the country that are reaching out to you. So going to your main website is not a good idea for someone that needs help like Ashton. Absolutely, Barb. So with that being said, I beg you to please on your website have a list of the chapters that are available for Black Lives Matter so that people like Ashton can know, okay, this chapter is in my neighborhood. This is who I can go to for assistance. I'm going to continue to do my part. I have a platform. I'm going to use it. For all of you that are watching, that are listening, if you know people, even if you don't know anybody, just continue to share. Share the story, pass the word on to somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody might be able to assist. Okay? If you guys got onto the show by going to my website, asiajamal.com, underneath the link that leads you to this show, If you click on Ashley's name, it goes to her email. You can email her directly with assistance. You can go straight to her, or you can email me and I will relay the messages, which is asia@asiajamal.com. People, we are not playing, okay? This is not a game. This is not a joke. These are lives. These are real lives we're talking about here. And she's crying out for help. Don't ignore this. This is not just a show. This is not just, I'm trying to get views or likes or anything like that. This is not about me. This is serious. Okay? And for those of you that have been reaching out to me, trying to collaborate, because you saw that I had hashtag BLM, hashtag Black Lives Matter, and you wanted me to collaborate with your brand, just go ahead and forget about a response from me. Because this is not about making money. This is not about reaching out to people to collaborate on a business purpose. This is not about me. Please understand. This is about getting the McKinney family the help that they need. This is about getting them the assistance that they need. If you know attorneys, if you know people that are familiar with this, that can advise, if you know people that can corner in the right direction, those are the people I want contacting me. Those are the people I want contacting her. Don't you dare reach out to me just because you want to benefit off of this story. I've never been this firm before on my show, but I've been disgusted with some of the messages that I've been getting since we started promoting this. Don't contact me if you're trying to make money off of this. I don't want to hear from you. And we have Margaret Jamal says, I shared and will do it again. My heart hurts for this sister.
Thank you.
And mine does too. We have to join together as a community. And when I say a community, don't assume that this is all just a Black situation either. The justice system isn't working for many people right now. This affects everybody, and if we shut up and be quiet, if we're too afraid to speak up, we're too afraid to say anything or help or assist in any way possible, or just share, nothing gets changed, nothing gets done. And I'm not going to tell you guys everything that Ashley has told me, the things that she struggled with. You can speak for yourself. But this stuff hurts. See, this stuff is not going to just go away. So whatever you have to offer, even if it's just your platform, even if it's just spreading the word, even if it's just reaching out to somebody that you think might be able to help with their platform, do what you can. And Philly says the whole stand your ground law needs to get tossed out. You know what, Felix? I agree with you. At first I felt like the stand your ground law needed reassessment. But the fact of the matter is the stand your ground law gives too much credit to people to do what's right. To say, you know what? I had the right to pull my weapon on this person because I felt like my life was threatened. If it wasn't for the fact that we had so much testimony in this situation, we wouldn't have known that this person that pulled a gun on your son did not align with the stand your ground law. If we didn't have as much information, we wouldn't realize that, this person was way out of line. So, yeah, Felix, I agree with you. I don't think I ever asked you, Aspen, how you felt about the law together, that they were even associating this with your case. How did you feel about that?
I was in the beginning, I was fine because I didn't know anything. It wasn't until a lot of other people started saying, comparing my story to other people's, and it had me start doing research that I started getting mad. And then
to hear now at court that they are deciding to do the stand your ground law, even with all evidence just pointing to it. It, that it's just, it's crazy. I don't understand it. And um, I wish I just wish, like you said, they thought more into that, because the majority of the stand your grounds are white on blacks. It's not usually the other way around. And I wish they had something for the victims, because you killed my son. He has no more feeling. He has no more anything. You probably did him a favor to take him out of this ugly world. You know, it's me. I'm left. It's me. It's his friends. It's his family. We're left. And sometimes I'm selfishly not even including them. I'm left because I gave birth to him. He was mine. And the fact that they're treating me like I'm not even his mother is another thing that just really, it drives me crazy. The lack of respect, the lack of empathy. I cut off so many people, and I'm learning now by meeting other mothers that it's not only just a spiritual awakening, but it's just what you go through as a grieving mother when you see the lack of support. I started seeing that more people were viewing my story simply just for entertainment. Simply just for entertainment. And this is real life for me. And it hurts. So I had to cut a lot of people off for my sanity. Like, I literally had to lose my mind to gain my sense. That's my motto now. It's like just how I have to live, you know. Sometimes I do feel like I'm going crazy because I don't have anybody else to relate to. If it wasn't for my girlfriend who lost her child to tell me I'm not going crazy, she's going 6 years in. 6 years in, it's not getting any better for her. You know, so for all those people that were at the funeral and they were telling me it'll get better, it don't. It has gotten worse. It gets worse for her. You got to remember that they're going. So my son has a daughter. She'll be 3 in August. And it will get worse because you're wondering what kind of father would he have continued to be, and what would he have looked like if he grew, you know, to the age of 25. Or so it doesn't get better. It doesn't get better. So for the people in my family and just friends and people that just don't check in because they think after the funeral that things just went back to normal, it does not. It does not. So a common courtesy call to just see how I'm doing would be nice.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
I'm so sorry. So for those of you that are watching, that are listening to her story and her testimony, know that even after the show, this continues. So here's my email, asia@asiasimone.com. If you have any guidance for her, if you have any resources for her, please feel free to pass them on to me, and I will pass them on to Ashton. I check on her on a regular basis as if she's one of my cousins, one of my own. Don't I check on you, Ashton? That's my family now. So reach out to me. Here's all my social media handles. Pay attention to them, because you know whatever it is that you like to use, go ahead and you know, share your resources, share what it is that you think would help. If you are going through the same thing yourself and you think that you can help us, reach out to me, and I will definitely pass it along. Um, we gotta help each other. I mean, that's it, that's all. You know, for those of you that are naive and think that the system works for everybody, it doesn't. You know, the broken parts of this system, we have to be strong enough to fight to get it fixed. That's why we have amendments and things to our Constitution. That's why we have laws that have been changed. That's why we have laws that have been added. It's because people fought for it. You know, let's fight for Ashton. Let's fight for Divine. Let's fight for these people. few more comments. You know, it's late. We're going to continue to go ahead and show these. And maybe kind of play into a passion for helping other mothers suffering with this type of loss. I pray that you do get to that point, that you're strong enough to help other people. In the meantime, we're here to help you. There's no expiration date for your grieving. Every day that you are blessed with is an opportunity to try for the better that you see. Don't ever give up. And please don't ever give up. I don't care what you're feeling, what's going on. I'd rather you call me, reach out and tell me that you're having a bad day. And thank you so much for my viewers, my listeners that have reached out and shown her some love. Don't let this be the end though. This is going to continue. As she continues to give me updates, as she continues to tell me what's going on or what assistance she needs, I'm going to post, and I expect you to respond. Because you said you would. I expect you to hold true to your promise. Is there anything that you want to say to the audience before we end the show tonight?
I thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. And everything just still stands. I still need that help. I still need you to share my story, my son's story, to bring awareness, because there's so many of us out here. We are not getting help. A lot of people don't make it out of this. God want me around for some reason, so I guess I got no choice. But there's people out here that check out. If they don't check out, they end up killing themselves. And I know that's raw to say, but it happens. They locked me away. They Baker acted me. Thank God I ran into the right doctor that heard my story and realized I just have a broken heart. But there's so many people that they don't hear. They're not listening to. And they'll just lock them away. They treating us like the criminals. And it's not fair. So that share button is important. That's basically all I keep saying. If you go into any of my social media accounts, that's just basically all I'm asking for.
All right, absolutely. You heard what she said, you guys. Come on, crew, let's do this. This is not a difficult ask. Share the stories. Share any resources you have. Continue to send your prayers this way. And remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you. Until next time, we'll be right here next week, Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Have a good night, everybody.
Weeping lasted all night. I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I'll march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day. I know there is got to be